What's up, fellas? Late one today. I'm currently gaming, playing League of Legends, because that's what I do when I'm not um, doing jokes or doing anything related to stand up. This is what I do. Um, I think this is a good topic for us to speak on, which is like League of Legends or video games in general. Um, for those of you that didn't know or don't know, I used to play competitively video games, like professionally. I used to get paid. Uh, Paid is very relative in this in this fucking wait. I don't like the fact. Okay, that's better. Getting paid is very relative in this world that is video games because let me just. I think this is better. Sorry. Getting paid in this world is very relative because you can indeed be paid, uh, but it's ridiculous. The highest salary that I had was $400, I think, per month, something along those lines. Wait, what the fuck is this guy doing? Hmm. Wait, can we dive this? Wait, guys, sorry. I'm in the middle of a predicament. Oh, this guy just cancelled my queue, man. Oh, fuck this, bro. So yeah, I used to play Valorant professionally, and I... Oh my god, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I used to get paid, like, I wasn't making, like, money, but I was getting paid, which was really cool. Sit the fuck down, little boy. Sit the fuck down, boy. But I was getting paid, which was such a fun little time and like a fun little experience that I had as a young kid. Not a young kid, I stopped playing like... I'm fucking dead. Wait, this Velcos doesn't move, man. This is hilarious. Sorry, this is hard to focus, but I'm doing my best. So yeah, when I started playing video games as a kid, like all of us did, at least people my age, started playing like really young. I was like, I don't know, man. I remember playing Call of Duty in my dad's lap, like the old Call of Duties, and then eventually I just started playing COD by myself, obviously. When I was in high school, I played like not a high school. When I was in middle school, which is from 5th grade to 9th grade here in Portugal, I played mainly Call of Duty. I played a lot of single player games as well, but I mainly played Call of Duty. And like playing COD, I just said one day I just was like, fuck it, bro. I need to grind this as much as I can. And then eventually I just started going to LAN events, like going to tournaments, playing tournaments online, that sort of thing. I used to play with a lot of good people, especially here in Portugal. I was a big like Optic fan, like a massive fucking nerd. I used to skip school to watch champs. Like, you won't fucking believe me when I'm telling you that I would pretend when I was in middle grade, when I was in like, I'd say, I remember this so vividly. I was like in 6th or 7th grade. I faked being sick just to watch Call of Duty champs of Optic play. I think I'm not sure if it was 8th or 9th or 7th grade or whatnot, because I remember it was Call of Duty Ghosts, so it's easier to find out which year this was. But I remember it was Call of Duty Ghosts, and I just pretended that I was sick just so I could stay home and watch the games. Yeah, that's how much I loved it. And I eventually just started going to tournaments. But yeah, Call of Duty scene, at least here in Europe, it was never like a thing. You know what I mean? You had that tournament. I think it was Dream Cup or something like that that would get like the guys from North America, which is where Call of Duty was at, would come. But besides that, it wasn't, the scene here wasn't, it isn't as it is today. It wasn't. But yeah, it was. Eventually, I did start to play other things. Like, I started playing computer games a lot. Eventually, I just started playing a lot of fucking Counter-Strike as well. Because I just realized, okay, so Call of Duty isn't really the future, or it isn't really like an esport that you can do anything here in Europe with. So I just moved on to computer games, computer FPS, especially Counter-Strike. I played CS for a bunch of years, grinded the game as much as I could. I level 10 face it, I had a bunch of fucking elo, just normal things that a guy that takes video games seriously would do. And then if me and my friends, we were never that good on Counter-Strike, because I think Counter-Strike, the ceiling is just way too fucking high. It's crazy. But then you had Valorant that came out, and me and a friend of mine, Gonçalo, since we followed esports our whole teenage years and young years and just all entire lives, right? We knew that Valorant coming out was going to be the game that we could go pro on, because the game was coming out and no one had a fucking clue of what they were doing on the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, we just decided to start grinding it out. We did very well at the beginning, especially because we came from Counter-Strike, which was like back then this was a massive like boost for you, basically, because you were ahead of everyone, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you just had you knew stuff that, oh, this guy cancels my moves. You just had more awareness of like FPS shooters in general. And we grinded the shit out of the game. We did really well. And eventually, Gonçalo stopped playing, but I did go semi-pro, I would say. It's a better saying. But I was getting paid. I was getting money. For me, I wasn't making enough money to call it a living at all. There's a bunch of people who did it full time. I was studying at the time. I was wrapping up college. No, I wasn't wrapping up college. I had already started working, and then I got a good like a job offer that it just didn't make any sense for me to say no to pursue gaming, full time. So yeah, I just ended up doing it part time, which is, I think, the way to do, at least here in Portugal. If you do it full time, you're kind of crazy. I'm just being honest. I don't think you should try and do this full time, unless you're really fucking confident of yourself, or if there's a lot of like, a lot of stars are lined up for you. What I'm trying to say is basically like, you need to have a lot of things going for you in your life, especially with your age, what you're doing, your prospect, the idea of what your future looks like. Because if your future is to now have an awesome job, whatever that means for you, or have like something that you look forward to waking up in the morning and go do, then yeah, I'm totally in with people pursuing this full time, because you might as well give all your best and you're all out on something that you might able to pursue and do in the future, you know what I mean, and do well. So what the fuck is this champion, man? Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, that's it. Pursuing full-time gaming is something that is kind of, I think you need to get lucky as well, very lucky. Most people that went pro will tell you that they got lucky. because yeah, you can grind and grind and grind, but if you don't get a break, if you don't get lucky, you're never gonna make it. But yeah, like I do think that if it's something that you love, you should definitely try. If you have the opportunity to try full time, you should definitely do that as well. But it's risky, man. It's not something that it's something that will probably not work, and you have to be okay with it not working. When I stopped playing Valorant, it was a sad realization, because one day you're grinding, you're playing 12 hours a day, and the other, there's this new massive hole in your life. What the fuck is this guy doing, man? Because to go pro, to be at least competitive, to be at least good-ish, you have to grind a lot. You need to put in the work. You need to do a lot of things that most normal people would never do. I was playing 12 hours a day. I was doing ridiculous fucking things. I was doing things that most people would never want to do. Oh shit. Okay, that's one. And we're there. But yeah, I think it was an amazing experience. I would never not do it, but it was a lot of fucking hours. It was a lot of sacrifices. It was a lot of things that I said no to. It was a lot of things that I said yes to. I don't know. It was cool. I don't regret it. The Gonçalo told me he sort of regrets it because he thinks that he did it for a little. I did it for longer. I think I did it for 2 more years than he did. So we like stopped playing, and I continued, which is when things started getting better, and I started getting paid, and I started playing for like better teams, and Valorant was getting like more views. I was doing a lot of content. People enjoyed my streams. I had a cool community. I sometimes miss those people. But yeah, then it's crazy because eventually you just get like a massive hole in your life, because if you have ever pursued anything like that's hard to achieve, and then you stop, you will realize that you spend so much time trying to do that thing that when you stop pursuing it, you realize how many hours, how much time you were spending on that one thing. Like when I stopped playing video games, I out of nowhere just realized that holy shit, I have like my calendar just opened up completely, you know? Like, oh my god, what the fuck did I just die to? Bro, League of Legends is such a shit fucking game, man. Bro, like my mid laner is 1 and 6. My top laner is 0 and 5. I've ganked this guy 100 fucking times. I've killed this fucking Cassante 1 billion times. My mid laner is 1 and 6. Their fucking Vel'Koz is 8 and 0. This game is unwinnable. This game is unwinnable, but these people are gonna refuse surrendering. They always fucking do, which makes no sense. This is a waste of time. Whatever. But yeah, when you stop pursuing something that you were doing for so long, like you realize like the amount of hours that you were putting into that one thing was ridiculous. It's not ridiculous in a negative way. It's ridiculous in the aspect of you don't even think about it when you're doing it, because you just think, okay, this is what I have to do. Like I was working like a normal job. I'm a developer. I work in IT, and I was just I've been extremely lucky by being able to work remotely, from home, and having all of these perks of like just being able to be at home, and as soon as I want, my day is basically done, and I can just start like practice when I was playing Valorant competitively. But you soon realize that like for example, I had days when I would start playing at like 3 p.m. Like I would start work earlier, and I would go and I would just start playing at like 3 p.m. right, and I would go until like 3 a.m. Like I remember so vividly. Like some nights I would just be up, seeing things, like studying the game, like just doing the most, you know. Ah, this game is done. I think my fucking ass. You do so much, and you realize that you don't particularly realize that you're doing so much, and you're grinding so much because you're so in that thing that you just, not that you're taking it for granted, but you're just doing the things because you have to do the things. And in comedy, that's been kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie, like, because something that I used to do when I was playing video games competitively was I did absolutely fucking nothing else but that thing. Like genuinely, I was playing the game for 12 hours every single day. I wasn't doing anything, like literally anything else. I would go to the gym, whatnot, and sometimes, not as consistently as I go to jiu-jitsu nowadays, but I would go to the gym, I would work out here and there to make sure I wasn't like a bum. But comedy, you can't do that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard, like settling into, like, that realization has been a hard thing to settle for, because you realize that it's not, nothing is the same anymore. Oh my god, can I fucking move, you bum? This guy's gonna kill us both, bro. Oh my god, what the fuck is... Crit! Ah! Oh. Bro, my top laner is so ass. That's been my main struggle with comedy. It's the fact that I've been used to doing things like playing video games competitively, and in that pursuit you could just sit down and grind this game for how many hours you would be willing to do. You can't do that with comedy because you have to live in order to write jokes, because you need to get ideas, you need to see things. Yes, you could sit down and just write for 12 hours, but I don't think anyone has ever done that in their fucking life. Not even Seinfeld, bro. You know? So that's also hard. And then there's just not that many opportunities, at least here in Portugal, to get on stage. And that's something that's been hard to deal with, because I've been used to grinding. And not shy away from the grinds, you know? Because I do know that's how you get better, right? 10,000 hours. It's always been the mantra. That will always be the mantra with everything you do in life. It doesn't matter what you're pursuing. It doesn't matter what your pursuit is. 10,000 hours is the goal, is what you have to do. But 10,000 hours in comedy seems impossible. You know what I mean? I think that's been a very big struggle of mine. Because in video games, bro, I would have 10,000 hours easily. You know? And you could check those. You could do those. I think that's something that's very cool about video games as well, is that you can just check how many hours you have. In comedy, it doesn't work like that. It's hard, man. It's difficult. You can't get you don't have that many opportunities to get on stage, and it's hard to do that. It has been for me, at least. I don't know if we have anyone else that's starting comedy like that, but and you live in a place that doesn't have as big as Claire, no, fucking hell, how does he not die, bro? No way. So yeah, I've just, for example, me and Brandon are going to Barcelona to do a couple of shows, and I genuinely see myself just starting, since buying house, renting a house or buying a house doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm willing to just spend $600, $700 per month in traveling and just going somewhere and performing, writing jokes. I spent a lot of time today writing jokes. I was able to wrap up the tasks that I had quickly, and I just spent so many hours today writing new jokes, with writing material. But then you get that material and you're just looking at it thinking, wow, I would love to do this, but I can't, like, it sucks. It really does. Like, it's a thing that's been a massive struggle that I've had with comedy. But yeah, guys, we're reaching the 20-minute mark. This was a kind of a weird episode. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'll have to redo this again and tell my story about playing video games again, and just go more in depth on that. But you can check me on Google. I was Dolfu. You have videos of me playing games on this YouTube channel. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. If you watched this, I truly do appreciate it very much. If you didn't, that's totally okay. I don't blame you. I don't watch my shit either. But yeah, have a nice night. It's kind of late. I don't want to make noise. Shalom, savat, salam alaikum. Good night. I don't know. Bye bye. See ya. Peace.